Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Coach Nahom. Today, we're gonna talk about the basics of the jab. Now the jab is the most basic yet effective strike in fighting. So today I'm gonna show you how to throw the jab and what are some different drills that you guys could do to perfect your jab at home or in the gym or even in your sparring. So, first what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our neutral stance. If you're orthodox, right, we will start with our left leg forward and our back leg slightly heel. Keep your heel up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep our both hands to our eyebrows and we're gonna keep our chin down and our elbows to our ribs to protect us from any body shots or kicks. So today I'm gonna show you two different ways you can throw the jab. One in boxing and one in Muay Thai. So, get in our fighting stance, right? Keep your shoulder up, loose, right? Don't be too tense or your muscles gonna get tired. What we're gonna do is we're gonna extend our jab straight. And when we extend the jab, we're gonna kind of rotate our fist. Keep your shoulder close to your chin so you won't get caught, right? So keep loose, extend, bring back. Don't leave it out there too long or people, they will counter your jab. So we're gonna keep our hands up, right? Extend, bring back. Extend, bring back. Get loose, extend, lean back. If you're southpaw, switch stance, get loose, keep your chin down, hands on your head, extend, bring back. Extend, bring back. Make sure you're breathing as well. Switch. All right, so in boxing, your stance is gonna be a little different. I am not a boxer. I am a kickboxing and a Muay Thai fighter. Therefore, my jab is slightly different than the rest. So there's two ways you can throw the jab. If you're a boxer, you're more bladed, right? You're more bladed and you want to flick the jab out and back, right? You're flicking the jab. But in Muay Thai and kickboxing, you want to kind of like be in a more squared up stance, So technically you're right here. So when you're throwing the jab, you're still here where your lead leg is, your toes is facing this way, as well as like you're not in a bladed stance, but you're slightly outside of it, So there's like a middle line coming through your legs, right? The reason for this is you're gonna get leg kicked or you're gonna get body kicked if you throw like this. So usually when you throw a jab in Muay Thai or kickboxing, someone's gonna take your leg out, right? Therefore, you want to throw a jab so you can also block, the kicks that's coming. If you're a boxer, make sure you're tight, your hands is loose, so you won't be, don't tense up your jab. So when you throw in, your muscles are gonna get tired. So loose, stay loose, right? Keep your chin down, elbow tight to your body. As you throw it, use your back leg to come forward, right? So the motion is, right? So right here, right? So to execute it, get in the blade stance. Once you find your range, throw it, push out from the back leg, come in, come in, come in. Here, come in, come in. Other side, here, come in, come in. If you're a Muay Thai kickboxing, usually we don't want to give too much weight on one leg. Your partner or your opponent would time it and kick you in the, on the thighs. So what we're gonna do is when we're throwing it, using our shoulders, coming in. Here. We're using this leg to step forward while this leg is kind of like staying planted. So you can jab in, and step out at the same time. Jab out, so you can either block the kicks that are coming, right? So it'll be like this, leg out. So the boxing stance, you're more, your shoulders in front more, and you're also bladed stance, right? So you're not square like kickboxing, you're a little bladed stance. The reason why is like you can turn with your punch, especially the jab. When you jabbing, you kind of step using the back feet, right? If you're orthodox, you kind of like push off of it to throw a more, stiff and powerful jab, right? You're also, keeping that blade stance, but to move, it's easier to slip out punches as well. So it's also easier to move, compare as well. So kickboxing, you're more squared, right? The reason why is because it's not boxing, and you need to throw more, like kicks as well as elbows and knees. So you got to be more squared. When you throw in the jab, you use that as a setup. So therefore, you don't want to kind of turn, in a bladed stand like boxing, because you expose yourself to kicks to the legs, right? Kicks to the head, kicks to the body. So you want to be in a square stance where you're able to lift the leg up to block those kicks. While you're hitting the bag, you want to establish your distance as well. You don't want to stuff your hands on the bag as well. So figure out kind of like light touches, so you know the distance of where your jab would land. So make sure you establish your distance, so you're not stuffing your punches on the bag, right? So moving around, get some range, get your range with the jab, and then throw your jab. So when you're shadowboxing, specifically to train your jabs, one thing's for sure, again, you gotta extend your punches, leave it out. Also, when you jab, make sure you're turning slightly, turn your fist slightly, so you can get that umph into it, you know what I'm saying? Moving around is also essential. Moving, also using fakes, using fakes to start your jab, because you can't just throw a jab, because usually your opponent would time it, right? That's one thing. Your opponent will time your jab. So using feints, using your arm as feint, maybe using your hips as feint, also circling around, right? Getting away from the power shots as well. So make sure you also working on like the number of your jabs. You just don't want to throw singles. You want to kind of mix it up by throwing, double jabs, triple jabs, single jab, kind of like mix it up, because it will help you kind of visualize how it is, you know what I'm saying? You can visualize your opponent and use that to kind of like practice, you know what I'm saying? Just throwing the jab for today. So what we're gonna do is, again, when your partner is throwing when he's holding the mitts for you, he's gonna hold it close to his face, because we don't want the jab thrown out there where you're just throwing it out here. This is bad habits when you're throwing it out here. What we want to do is, your opponent, again, when he holds the jab for you, he's gonna kind of like leave it there and meet me just a little bit, because you don't want to stuff my punches. Every time I punch, you don't want to like stuff my punches. You don't want to do that, right? You want to be long, right? Make sure your elbows is tight, and then shoot it out. Also, you don't want to leave it out there too much. We don't want that. Don't leave it out there too much, where you leave it out there, because it gives time for your opponent to counter back, right? You don't want to kind of like, you just don't want to leave it. You want to bring it back, so next time when I do it, and I'm here. Or I'm like enough where I'm out from the range, right? All right, so next thing we're gonna do is kind of like throwing double jabs, right? Keeping your opponent guessing. That's what we want. So I'm throwing jabs, right? I'm doubling up, right? Right? Again, for boxers, they stand a little bladed, so the jab is more, fast, right? For us, Muay Thai, kickboxing, they're more squared, right? They're good because you want to hit with something, maybe a combination like jab, low kick, for example, right? Right? Think about boxers, like when they throw a jab and their bladed stance, their toes are facing a little out, so they're open to getting low kicked, right? So if I throw a jab, I can't block it, right? So therefore, Muay Thai, kickboxing, they're squares. They're good, they can block it easily, right? Right? So, keep. It's okay if you got hit. Again, we're working, we're training, we're drilling, right? Practice makes perfect. So keep drilling, you get better at it. Make sure the important thing is to breathe. Every time you jab, breathe, right? You're not just holding your breath in. You're gonna get too tired, right? Breathe out, exhale. Exhale, your punches might be faster in power, you know, you're getting power from that. So exhale in each strike, each step. Exhale, right? Now, when you're jabbing, of course, you're throwing it, but you also want to move around a little bit, you know? What you shouldn't do when you jab, one is leave your chin open. You want to keep your chin down as you jab. If you leave your chin open, you're excessive to get hit in the face with an overhand hand or even just clipped with a hook, you know? So another is leaning in more when you jab. You don't want to lean in forward because you're off balance, and when you're off balance, it's bad news. You know, you might get hit with different strikes, right? So also putting more weight on the lead leg will be, you know, you get low kicked, you're off balance, and you won't have time to transition for other strikes. So you don't want to lean too forward because you want to kind of have an equal kind of balance with both legs. Again, work on your balance, work on your technique, and work on extending your arms, you know, when you're throwing the jab. So your partner will help you hold the mitts. You know, you don't want to stuff your punches because that's not how you want to throw, you know, in a fight or in sparring. You want to be able to, you know, extend your punches to be able to like land shots more further. So if you stuff your punches, you know, you two in a danger zone, and you can also get striked from there. Another thing is your partner will hit back. Make sure that your hands are up. Make sure your chins are down, and make sure your elbows are tied to your body. So every time you jab, you don't want to leave it out too long, you know, because, you know, your partner will strike with some kind of counter. So keep it back, you know, keep your chin down, keep your elbows tight, and move around. Moving around is essential. You don't want to stay in the same place, right? You want to move around, confuse the opponents, make them guessing, keep striking, keep attacking with jabs, right? If you guys stayed up all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any comments, leave it down below and I'll look at it. Give me your feedback, what you thought about the video, so I can make more like this in the future. Thank you. Make sure you guys click on that subscribe button, click on that like button. I really appreciate it. Until next time.